Captain Elzear Blaze, an officer who served in Napoleon's army, who marched through countless campaigns, who saw everything with his own eyes. He left behind his memoirs, and those memoirs show the true face of war, not glory, blood, and truth. People read history books and imagined battle as something grand and theatrical. Two sides face each other. Cannons roar, heroes triumph. Blaze tells it differently. The army marches. At the front, hussars ride like devils, galloping forward, the enemy retreating before them. But suddenly a village blocks the way. 1 battalion is sent forward. The enemy brings 2. We send 10, they show us 20. The cannons growl. Everyone joins the chaos. 1 man falls clutching his leg, another his face, and what remains is left for the crows and for the writers of official reports. That is battle, real battle. Napoleon himself once said it. The art of a commander is to bring as many men as possible to a chosen point on a chosen day. You must know where the enemy is strong, where he is weak. For that, you need spies, good ones and well-paid ones. Napoleon threw gold by the handful. It was a sound investment. Other generals pinched pennies on intelligence and paid for it with defeat. Not everyone in the army was brave. Blaze does not hide this. At the Battle of Wagram, a soldier in his company was seized by a violent fit of epilepsy the moment the first shot whizzed past. An officer with 30 years of service had never once stood in the front line. The sight of a sword made him pale. He admitted it openly. I would very much like to go into battle, but it is simply not possible. I would fall back at the first gunshot, and that would set a very bad example. So he was always left behind at the garrison. But even there, he made himself useful, drilling the recruits. Yet there were men whose courage could not be compared to anything in this world. Spain. General Suchet had just taken Mount Olivo. The Spaniards had boasted beforehand. The trenches of Mount Olivo will bury all of Suchet's troops. But Suchet took it. After the battle, he came across a wounded soldier being carried by his comrades toward the field hospital. Victory! Mount Olivo is ours, the soldier called out. Suchet stopped. Are you gravely wounded? No, General, but unfortunately wounded seriously enough to be obliged to leave the ranks. Well, answer, my friend. What do you wish as a reward for your services? The soldier paused for just a moment. Then he said, to be allowed to lead the attack when you take Tarragona. Suchet was taken aback, but he gave his word. 1 month passed. The day of the assault arrived. The troops were forming their columns of attack when Suchet noticed a figure approaching, a common foot soldier, dressed in full parade uniform, as though heading to a celebration rather than a battle. I have come to remind you of your promise. General, I wish to be the first to attack. Suchet tried to dissuade him. Soldiers like you are too rare for me to waste your blood needlessly. Stay in your company. By sharing your courage with your comrades, you'll do far greater service than by getting yourself killed alone. The soldier shook his head. General, you gave me your word. I wish to go first. Suchet looked at him for a long moment. Then he sighed. So much the worse for us, my brave fellow. Do as you please. The columns moved forward, and that soldier walked 20 paces ahead of all of them. He ran through the grape shot. He was the first to climb the breach in the wall. And there he fell, his body riddled with bullets. By Suchet's order, he was carried to the hospital. That same evening, the entire corps of officers came to visit him, the general at their head. Suchet took the cross from his own chest and pinned it to the breast of the dying soldier. He passed away admired by the whole army. His name was Bianchelli. The French writer Chateaubriand once said, "Glory must be something very real, since it causes the heart of even its witness to beat faster." Anyone who has ever heard the name Bianchelli understands exactly what those words mean.